everyone, this is the first movie for Access Chapter 3, Pause and Practice 3. This is the last pause and practice that we're going to do for Access. And there's a couple really important ideas in this chapter. One is the parameter query, which is so invaluable. A parameter query is created when you want to allow the user to enter the requirements at the time the query is run. So instead of putting a specific, like we did Roseville and we did Rockland, instead of putting those specific cities in, we let the user at the time that they're running the query put the city in. And that way we can take a single query and it can be run against any number of cities that are available. And then and you can combine that with the wildcard, so you can make it even more powerful. And then the last thing is adding a calculated field to a query. And so a calculated field is something that would exist when that query is run, but it is not stored in the table. And we're going to do, and normally calculated fields are numeric. They're a formula. So we're going to do one of those, but we're also going to do one that is manipulating text, and we're going to use the left function, which would pull out we're going to do one character out of the agent's name. So we're going to get their first initial from their first name, and then concatenate, which means to join or bring together with a period, space, and then their last name. So it's really some really powerful stuff that we're going to do here. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is create a query in design view. And what we want here, I'm on page 183. The office manager wants to calculate the potential commission on the listed properties. The query should display the agent's name, listing ID, and list price, and a potential commission for each property. The agent's name should be formatted as the first initial, a period, a space, and the last name. So we're going to do this query in stages. We're going to do it just like we did that last time. We're going to put a piece in, run it, check it, move on, that kind of thing. So we are going to have to use both tables. So I'm going to add both tables, and I'm going to stretch it out here, and I'm going to bring this up. But my first field is going to be a calculated field. So I'm not bringing anything from either of these tables down here. So when you do a calculated field, you go to the blank, the line that says field in the blank, and I always zoom. So right click, zoom, and then, oh, you know what? We're going to do the expression builder. So right click, build, and we get to the expression builder, okay? So here's how, when you do a calculated field in Access, the first thing that you do would be the name of the new field that you're creating, okay? And I hate this name. It's got an apostrophe in it. It's got a space in it, but okay. And then you do a colon. And then, so what's left of the colon is the name of the new calculated field. What's to the right of the colon is the calculation. So that colon is kind of like an equal. Agent's name equals this, but it's not an equal sign, it's a colon. Left of the colon is the name, right of the colon is the formula. So we're going to, let's see, we're just going to type it. So we need to type left because that's the function that we're going to do, left parentheses. So thinking back to Excel, remember you had a function name and a parentheses. And then inside the parentheses, in a square bracket, we're going to put the field name. So I always like to have this where I can see the underlying tables. So square brackets. So we're saying, hey, left last name, comma 1. So the function left is going to look in the field last name and return the first character from the left side. So that's the person's first initials. Then we want to concatenate, and concatenate is bringing together, and the concatenation symbol is the and sign. So we're saying take the person's first initial, join it with quote, comma, space, quote. So like if we were typing it on the keyboard, we would do H, period, space, and then mandolin H. Well, we have to mimic that in this formula. So, and then we're going to concatenate that, or join that literal of a comma space with, oops, you know what, I did this wrong. This should be first name. Then this should be last name. Square bracket. Okay, let's run it and see. Yep. Oh, I got a comma. Oh, yeah. So I need to go back to design view. I'm going to zoom. I didn't see that I had, oh yeah, that's a comma. I need it to be a period. I had a typo, so run it. And this is why, as I'm building, I run it. All right, so first initial, period, space, last name. If that's good, we're okay. So let's go ahead and save that so we don't lose that, because that was kind of a pain. Potential commission by property. Okay, I'm going to do okay. All right, so let's run it again, and then just double click on that so we can do best fit, and let's go back to our design. So the next thing that we're going to do is put list price. Oh, no, listing ID. Okay, so I, excuse me, I already did list price, and I, excuse me. So I missed doing listing ID, so this is good. I can show you how to do this. So I'm going to click here, drag it, drag it, drag it, and then just drop it. See where the arrow with the plus? Let go, and it puts it right in there. So we have our agent's name, listing ID, list price, and I think that's it. So let's run it. Good, and save it, and go back to design. So the next thing that we want to do is calculate the potential commission, and commission is 6%. So to do a calculated field, I go to the first blank column in the row that says field, right click, zoom. I always make my font bigger so I can see it. Remember, left of the colon is the name that you are giving to the calculated field. So this is, I'm calling potential commission, colon. To the right of the field is the formula. So I take the list price, inside square brackets, I make sure I have it spelled exactly right, list price, times our 6% commission rate. So I'm saying whatever the list price is, multiply it by 6%, and that gives me my potential commission. All right, name, colon, field, inside square brackets, times, and then this is the literal of a 6% or 0.06. I'm going to do okay. I'm going to run it just to see if I got it okay. Okay, it looks good, except the numbers don't look good, right? So let's go back to design, and let's figure out how we can make this currency. So while I'm sitting on potential commission, that calculated field, I'm going to come up here to property sheet, and I'm going to select format, drop down arrow, and pick the format that I want. And I want a currency. So I'm going to run it and see, oh, that looks a lot better. Looks a lot better. So I'm going to save that, and it's good. So I'm going to end this movie and finish up with the parameter query on the next movie. And you know what? No, I'm going to start it on the next one. All right. Thank you.